Okay, so when you open the game, you get this pop-up, right? Ruthless Rumble, Eternal BO3, coming soon. And then Eternal BO3, coming soon. What does any of this mean? Whatever, patch notes. Oh my gosh, the scroll speed is very slow. Extremely slow. Okay, I'm at the end. Wait a second. This doesn't look very fair. Okay, I'm scrapping everything I had planned. We're making a copy deck. So I just looked up copy and put Karma in, obviously, but it might be tempting to put Seraphine in, but if I put Seraphine in, then there's no Mimic card, even though I do have the Prismatic Seraphine. Instead, we're going to use another copying card, also known as Leblanc, which... Oh, okay, so I got all the essential cards. I don't know what happened to Leblanc. I also have Shadows of Tea because I thought it would be a funny card to copy. Oh gosh. Wait, why does it make that noise? It's so loud. I'm pretty sure this is where this game peaks. It does not get better than this. Yep, I seem to have no idea what's going on. So I'm looking at slow spells and I think Decimate would be kind of funny. So let's go ahead and get 1, 2, 3. This takes so long. Oh, and we should probably pick up one of these, especially since it's shiny. Oh, and it seems I have shiny Captain Pharaon, so I'll take out a Decimate and put him in instead. I've added a Singular Will. Hopefully that will come in handy. Get it? Because it's hands. Then we're gonna need some 5 attack units to level up Leblanc, get that 3 cost reduction on Mimic. Also, this one comes with a built-in stun, so I'm sure that'll come in handy. Get it? Because she has hands. And maybe a Yeti or 2. You know what? It looks like you got a buff, so you can go ahead and come along with us. Maybe one more Oh, yeah. I'll take a couple of you. Now we just need some combat tricks and stuff. This one looks pretty strong, so we'll get a couple of them. Maybe Disintegrate, a health potion, I guess. I mean, none of our units have more than 4 health, but, you know, it might be worth it. I suppose Wuju Style's pretty strong, and we'll throw in an Elixir of Wrath for good luck. Now we just gotta figure out the cosmetics. This thing is still, ooh, 5 cost Iceborne. I'm thinking we have to go Tibbers, right? Yeah. And as for the card back, we probably want something appropriate. Bilgewater has a sword. As for emotes, I could not be bothered, and I don't have any titles. Okay, to put this as simply as possible, the idea of this deck is to copy the copier by copying the copying spell using the copier, and then thus copying a copy of the copier, creating 2 more copiers, which then copy the copy of the copier. Wait, I don't have a script, so I'm pretty sure I got something wrong there. Feel free to correct me in the comments. Nice job, Gray. Smooth comment integration. Okay, but if you've been paying attention to what's been happening on screen, that's a lot of decimation. So I think this deck has potential. So here's game 1 against an Ascended army. And I don't think we really need any spells other than Mimic, which, yay. Of course, we're hit with Forsaken Baka, which for whatever reason isn't considered a dog. Okay, so it's round 3, so I can play something and get my stun card, blah, 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 and then he attacks. And I think this seems like a worth trade, so I go for it. Yeah. Value. I could have said value or buy you, and they both would have made sense. So here I decided to attack with Deny Mana to make sure that, well, nothing could happen to my LeBlanc. Now, unfortunately, I forgot you can't actually deny Quicksand. Oops. So I play a Thrashing Snapper to get rid of the Rolling Sands to pave the way for Karma, and I just realized now I didn't actually have Karma in my hand, so I have no idea why I played the card. Oh. There she is. Hopefully they have no Shurima business that could take her out. That's what we call foreshadowing. Okay, so I went ahead and got another Guile, and then the opponent decides to play Xerath. Now, unfortunately for them, I actually just got a charm created by Karma. So I can go ahead and get rid of my own vulnerable and make them vulnerable all in the same card. Oh, sorry. Vulnerable. Eliminate him. Oh, okay. This is what we have Deny Mana for. The Hourglass. Guys, I think Shurima is overpowered. Why? You get away this time. So the opponent plays Azir, so I want to create a blocker, right? So I play Thrashing Snapper, and look what happens. What is that? Ah! This is so sad. That's the most emotional I've ever been playing this game. Oh yeah, Azir levels up too. I guess we'll watch it, because, you know, why not? At least it was only once, but look at that sun disk now. 10. Okay, so in the interest of not having them ascend, look what found its way into my hand. 2 more hands. Get it? Because it's a hand. Anyway, as long as they don't have a Rite of Negation, we are good. I didn't know Karma could spin Jitsu. Ah, a blank slate. Actually, it looks a little more like limestone. But the opponent goes ahead and refills their board. Noticeably, however, the Sun Disk is only at 25. So they get their Azir back, so then I play Pharaon, so he doesn't really want to attack with either of his champions. Then he plays a 2-cost 2/2, which reduces the time of landmark by 2. In this case, down to 22, so I stun the dude because I have 2 Guiles. Yeah. And you know how my opponent responds? Do you know what he does? Look at this. He obliterates it. What did the poor dude ever do? So I stunned that one too. And oh my goodness, it's round 10 already. So obviously we're just gonna attack. So I didn't know what to do, so I thought I would just health potion my nexus, and then there's no health potion. Oh, how in one round, the tables have turned. Oh no. So my opponent decides to attack immediately out of the gate with a non-lethal attack, and they also use a Ryze here, but it doesn't really work. There's really no point in blocking. Okay, now that that's all done, let's go ahead and do a little copying. Oh wait, guys, Xerath is leveling. As per tradition, we are are going to watch this. Yes, the entire thing, even though he's only leveling once. Yay, okay. So it actually turns out we got many more karma. Oh, one of them is dead. Okay, whatever. We got 4 karma ready to go and 1 decimate also ready to go. So let's do this, and that looks promising. I'm not even gonna talk. I'm just gonna let this thing play out. Whoa. Now, as long as they don't have a Rite of Negation, which they don't, we just one turn kill by doing 20 damage directly to the nexus. It has been fun, but I have more cards to copy. Runeterra Open 1, Eternal BO3. Runeterra Open 2, Eternal BO3. Singleton BO1. I don't understand any of this lingo. Oh no. Am I old? In this second game, I'm up against Frostbite Fiora, which is problematic because my units are very susceptible to brittle steel. Remember when I implied Karma would die in the last game by, like, the foreshadowing thing? I lied. That was to create suspense. So this game is going like whatever. I don't have any reputation hits in yet. Okay, I got 1. Then my opponent makes a silly mistake of playing Fiora, which I can just stun and Ravenous Flock. But I don't try it this round because they probably have some sort of health boosting card because, you know, they're playing Fiora with, you know, Demacia and Filliard. So instead I attack and try to bait out whatever defensive cards they have. Works like an absolute charm. They use a Fiora to defend the Fiora, which although Fiora does get a vital, that's 1 fewer Fiora I have to deal with, and this one's with 1 fewer barrier. So they decide to play Ashe. Now, as long as they don't have a brittle steel here, I can basically kill Fiora, which I don't know is somehow allowed to happen. I think it's because they had a 3rd Fiora. I'm just gonna go ahead and stun that. But then they decide to attack with the Ashe, which in League of Legends terminology is considered inting. But of course they have a combat trick, but no mana left, so I just kill the Fiora. And just like that, from 3 to 0 Fioras. So this is the next round, and I'm attacking, and oh, now they have brittle steels. There's 2. I didn't want to have to do this, but it looks like I'll have to mimic my random brother's bond. That's not a karma created card, that's actually in the deck. My opponent had an elixir of iron among 2 brittle steels and used none of them when defending against the wild strikes from earlier. Also Leblanc leveled, which gives me one of those mirror images. Hey, skippity dip, this part is boring. Okay, all you need to know is karma has ascended. Speaking of karma, after listening to the song, I'm pretty sure I'm a Taylor Swift fan now. I don't know if that's good or bad yet. Oh, I forgot. The opponent surrenders. I'm still scrolling. Okay, so in this game 3, we're up against Ryze, which I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know he was in the game. Anyway, the start of this game is pretty boring, so I'm just gonna skip all the way ahead to the end. Now, before that, what does Ryze even do, you ask? I think it's best not to ask. Actually, I'll talk about the game a little bit. Basically, the entire game, I'm just trying to kill this dragonling thing, but can't. And then when I'm finally able to kill it, they just play another one the next round. And it's like every single time. This is never ending. I can't do anything ever. And I mean, here we are at round 10, and I just have to skip because all of my cards are just burst spells. And it just goes on. But this time I have a deny, so maybe I can break the cycle. But no. In every round, I just draw these useless spell cards. This game should have been over like 6 rounds ago. This is the most annoying game I've ever played. Oh, and by the way, this went 20 whole minutes too. So I finally drew a unit card. I was so happy. Okay, finally, a couple rounds later, I'm finally able to kill. I have lethal in hand with the Mimic plus the star thing. I don't see how my opponent could survive this. Okay, well, at least they won't be able to survive it with deny mana. That is a 5-cost spell. Okay, this is just the worst. So I just wait for him to run out of mana, but I didn't know this, but there's a rune that heals the Nexus, so I no longer have lethal in hand. But then, when all hope seems lost, I draw another Mimic. Well, you see, the Mimic should double the effects of the next Mimic, which should effectively quadruple the star, right? Effectively doing 8 damage. So my opponent plays the 5th World Rune, and it's like no biggie, because although it'll heal the Nexus too, I have 8 damage. So it turns out this game is a complete scam. There's only 3 of them. If only I drew one of my Karmas, or Captain Pharaons, or Decimates, or literally any of those. What even is this game anymore? Can someone explain to me what's going on? Next we have game 4, and yeah, I'm also weirded out. This is the first time I've done a game 4, which coincidentally does delay this video a whole hour and a half, but whatever. Following last game's embarrassment, I've replaced some of the bad spells with whispered words. So my opponent starts off with a pretty standard ballistic bot, and I get to play my handy Thorn of the Rose. And then of course Leblanc on the next turn. However, I did not take into account I'm playing against Piltover and literally everything will die. She did done good in. She's gone now. That's what I wanted to say. Round 5, so I go ahead and drop a Karma because it keeps generating me free spells. I sincerely hope this isn't like a meta deck or some sort of powerful deck because I really thought I did something when I won the first 2 games with this. So I go ahead and play my Wrathful Rider because I want to eliminate the Ballistic bot, who will start to grow a little out of hand once those Mushroom Clouds are played. Getting out of hand, get it? Cause whatever. It may not have been the most efficient of trades, but at least I did get the Ballistic bot. Okay. Somehow it seems like they might have a Mystic Shot or something, so we're we're just gonna take the hit and play Thorn of the Rose again. I'm stunning the evil imperfectionist to kill it with Ravenous Flock. Now you may be wondering, why are you wasting all of your removal on cards that aren't Victor and Aphelios? Well, you see, it's my theory that my opponent doesn't actually have those cards in their hand. And my own hand is getting pretty full, so I gotta get rid of some stuff. Make room for the Decimates created by Fiora. Oh, okay, well they did have Victor, but at least they don't have Aphelios. Okay, I don't really know what happened, but Victor is level 2 and he's 9-7 now. Oh, also there's Aphelios. Okay, Victor is 12-7, has Overwhelm, and all of my units don't have any health. But luckily, I still have that stun. Okay, I don't know what my opponent is thinking here. I guess they're trying to get health back, but it probably won't matter. Just for good measure, we're gonna take out the... Oh, it's called a Sigil of Malice. I've been calling it a star. No more Aphelios. Quick question. Why aren't his moon weapons equipment? Okay, Karma's level 2. We're gonna start by copying the copying spell, which is copying the copier by use of the copier, which copies it. I'm joking, we're not doing this again. All you need to know is that this happens. If only Mimic were 1 fewer mana. Whatever, let's decimate this guy. 24 damage in spells, 100% win rate if you don't count the Ryze game. This deck is too strong. It must be destroyed, deleted, permanently. Remember, deck code is in the description. Make sure you subscribe, or whatever you're supposed to do. Yeah. Nonetheless, this is epic. It's also taking a lot longer than I thought. Oh, here comes the outro. It keeps going?